Warning, the following episode of It's a Bit Shit contains graphic descriptions of sexual scenes, foul language, and Australians. Thank you for listening, and please share with your friends and follow and do all the good stuff. I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to another episode of It's a Bit Shit. We hope you've been enjoying our sweet, delicious show and you're ready for another episode. Joining me, as always, are my fellow bukkakes.
Yeah, I got it.
Bukkake-ers. Bukkake-ers?
Big bukkakers.
That works. My fellow bukkakers. Aaron.
Hola.
And Peter.
Hello.
And the bukkake this evening is Mike. Mike, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for that introduction.
Already has instant regret being here.
I thought this was a talk show. I didn't think you guys were going to come on me. Fuck.
If we told you that, you wouldn't rock up.
Well,
It's like, why'd you ask me to bring a change of clothes? It's really strange. I thought we were just doing a radio.
Awesome. Right. That was a great way to start this episode because we're speaking about Zack Snyder's Justice League, otherwise known as the Snyder Cut this week. The Snyder Cut is the 2021 director's cut of the 2017 film with the same name. After delivering the less-than-good Batman v Superman, Snyder Man felt it was time to take another crack at it with Justice League. Unfortunately, Snidey Boy had to step away from the production and it was taken over by everyone's least favourite redhead, Joss Whedon. After dumping another $70 million into it to complete it, the film came out on HBO Max with a 4-hour runtime. This displeased the casual Peter, but gave firm wood to a fanboy Aaron. So come get slow-mo with us as we tell you why the Snyder Cut is a bit shit. Boys, did we have a good time spending 4 hours watching this?
I did. When I watched it 2 months ago.
I did. Yeah. Ultimately, yeah.
Yeah, Peter?
Fucking kill me.
Now, I'm going to preface this because Aaron and I have been debating whether it affected your mood or not when you watched this. You can't use your wife as a defense, but we recorded this after we recorded another episode where we drank heavily for the whole thing, mixing spirits and a bunch of other things. You were wildly hungover.
Yes.
You hated the world and yourself, and you decided to go home and watch a film that you already had preconceived ideas about how much you hated it.
For 4 hours.
No,
Thank
but
you, Aaron.
in my defense, I was like, okay, I'm going to try and be as level about this as possible. And in my defense, as I was saying earlier, the only reason I watched it is because I couldn't move. And I could lay there with my iPad.
Have you ever seen A Clockwork Orange?
I have seen Clockwork Orange. But yeah, no, look, there was parts of it that were pretty good. And then for the most of it, I was like, why are they doing this? But anyway, we can get into that.
We'll get into that a bit.
Yeah.
So I guess the question of, do you actually like it? For you, Peter, is a no. And for the rest of us, it was a yes.
I would have to say yes. But on that note, how do we have bias in... I had some... How do I say this? Herbal help to enjoy the movie?
Yeah, that's fine. You had a...
Had a little help from a
Somewhat,
friend.
some of us were inebriated and some of us were inebriated in different ways. And that's fine.
That's fine, yeah. Would you recommend it to a friend? And what kind of friend would you recommend it to?
I've written down... would you recommend to a friend? I said yes, but not Peter.
But that would say that you consider Peter to be a friend.
I would consider that yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was
But
considering a lover, but yeah.
You're not the friend I'm suggesting this movie to. Especially hungover, looking after a child.
I mean, one day I will watch it again, but I still think I'm going to hate it.
You don't have to lie to me.
Yeah, you're right. I'm never watching
You're
that
never
trash
watching that again.
I think it's a pretty niche market of like 16 to 22-year-old boys that are kind of edgy.
And I tick all of those
A
boxes.
little bit like neckbeardy, like,
Yeah.
you know.
My
Wears
lady.
a fedora.
Chipmunk
Kid,
fedora. teleports behind.
That's right. If I was going to recommend it to a friend, it would be someone who really enjoys slow motion. Yeah. Because I think as we've already spoken about a bunch, we could probably save it till later, but I'm just going to say it now. There's 24 minutes of slow motion in this film, which is 10% of the film.
Sam. Yeah.
That's a
Really?
lot. That's a
That
large
much?
chunk of the film, yeah. Of a 4-hour film, that's a lot.
I got to be
What
honest,
about-
I didn't notice it that much.
The
That's
slow
because
mo?
everything was going slow for you.
Took me 8 hours to watch the movie. I don't know.
Mike had it on like playing half speed and didn't even fucking realize because he's so used to Zack Snyder doing slow mo. He just let that's how the film went. These guys sound weird, but I'm also probably really high.
He does that with time, like Zack Snyder, like 300, where like they do the quickly like fast forward to then slow motion, like really quick slow mo as they're stabbing someone, really quick again slow motion. Like that's his jam.
That is his jam. That is absolutely his jam. I guess this sort of falls into the same question, but like if you had to convince somebody to watch this film, someone who didn't want to watch this film, how would you convince that person to watch the film?
Do you want to get really stoned and watch a film?
I said, hey, do you hate Joss Whedon for being a big meanie and want to justify that hate because you actually have no idea what he did to be a big meanie? You just know the internet's outraged, so you must be too. Boy, do I have a film for you.
Mine's just another stab at Peter. Mine says, "Oh, do you want to come watch the movie that the superhero movie that Peter doesn't want but also doesn't deserve?"
So then leading into the sort of the end of this segment is, why is this film so loved? What is it about this film that makes it something that people have just considered? Like, there's people are calling it a masterpiece. Like, people are calling it an amazing film, and it's like flawless and stuff like that. What is it that people are seeing in it that's making them see it this way?
People also thought
I didn't
Hitler was
ask.
good.
I wasn't. Didn't
You
say
look-
Peter.
You look at me.
I was looking at you.
Always look at me.
But I was referring to Aaron because he enjoyed it and you didn't.
What was the question?
Why do people love this film so much? What
I
is
feel
it
like
about it that
I
makes
feel
it
like
so
the
great?
main thing for this particular one was the fact that all the shitty things that happened to Zack Snyder and his daughter killing herself, and they were like, "Oh man, that's so sad," which it is, sure. But that he was able to finally finish the movie. Like the 2017 version wasn't really his version. Apparently, he didn't even. What? Yeah. That's what I said. Peter, I said finished the movie.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Just like he went through the bin and just found it like, oh, we didn't use that. I'll use that.
Some of it they did, actually. They were like, that's a banger. Why'd they throw that out?
Yeah.
Do you think part of the success of it was the fact that it had such a huge, like, there was a whole bunch of people that were like, there was like a poll to restore the Snyder Cut and
I
all that
think-
sort of shit, and all the publicity around it obviously played a
Even
part in
before
it.
they said anything about it and before like Twitter was doing what Twitter does and blows up or whatever the fuck the term is.
Yeah.
Like
We
Jason
tweet.
Momoa was like, I've seen it and it's great. It's the best version. It should have been that. And this was like 2017 or 2018. So he's like, I saw the Snyder Cut. It's the best version. And people were like, holy fuck, there's a Snyder Cut? I have to see that.
Yeah, right.
And it's just been hyped for the last fucking like 3-4 years. Finally gets released, and then some people are either going to be like, this is the best movie I've ever seen, and just like come rainbows for the next 4 hours, or they're going to be like Peter and just be hungover and just hate the world when they watch it.
I'm sure there's other people out there that don't like this.
No, I think it's everybody. You've gone and made thousands of accounts on Internet Movie Database, and you're just like one starring it, and that's how it's got the 8.1, I think, or 8.7, 8.1. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really high.
It's crazy high. You need to make more fake accounts and keep giving it 0
You're not
stars.
trying hard enough, Pete.
Yeah, well, I was too hungover, man.
All right, so it's time to move on to why it's a bit shit. I'm not going to start with Peter because he's going to be the one that's going to drag it through the dirt the most. I know.
You're-
that. I
you're-
can
you're-
see
you're
look
the
at
one
your,
taking it
Mr.
home.
Burns in your hands right now.
Oh,
like-
no, that's just me comforting myself.
I need comfort.
Aaron, did you have much that you wanted to say about this film that was poor?
My main thing was the slow motion. That was like the only thing I actually noticed, and I was like, Jesus Christ, another slow motion scene. Oh yeah, this one Superman at least looked at him like.
Yep.
Yeah, the part that annoys me is that all the slow motion was mostly around the Flash, and I get why, because he's a fast boy. But the Flash was also my favorite character, so like in the movie, like not the actual DC verse, but in the movie, he was the breadwinner of that. But it annoyed me that like everything slow motion was excessive.
I was going to say, I think the film would be a lot more effective if the slow motion was just around him because I think like when you start putting slow mo to everyone doing everything, it kind of takes away from the fact that the Flash is fucking OP as fuck, and is really good. And to make him weak, he just trips. But anyway, that's another thing I hate about this film. But anyway,
How do you stop the fastest man? A rock.
yeah, legit. It's like this guy's so quick. Oh, but I have. Oh no, there's a banana peel. Whoopsies.
Oh, I did it again.
No.
Mike, you pretty much on the same page
Oh,
there?
I agree. But the thing you haven't brought up yet, at least for me, is the color palette. Like, I couldn't stand it. Like,
Now, is this the first one that you saw that was all black and white?
no, both of them.
Okay.
Like,
I expected it to be really colourful for you, but anyway.
I was making a joke to Aaron that he actually has a setting on his TV that just washes all the color out of his films. It's called like Snyder mode, and so like when he watches his Marvel films, he puts it on.
It took a
Snyder
lot.
mode.
It took a lot, but I finally got it. I was like, yes, Snyder mode on everything now.
It's just
Video
like
games.
backlighting off eco 100%. There it is.
But also vivid at the same time somehow.
Yeah, I had to check my settings a few times. Like, have I got fucking eco on? No, I don't.
The color was better on this one than it was in the 2017 version.
I mean, yeah, it's better than red. It is better than red, but like,
not by much, so.
do you reckon like if he made an appropriate trailer for the film, it'd be like an hour?
what kind of trailer do you watch for movies that's like 15 minutes?
Wasn't the trailer like wasn't it still like a good like 3 minutes long or something though? Because they had like that Hallelujah song playing the whole time, and it was all like slow motion and black and white.
You let them.
I just watched the movie. I didn't watch the trailer. It's a bit shit trailers. Although that's an idea, right? Someone write that down.
We just go around
Put
reviewing
that on the
camping
board.
trailers.
Just like shitty trailer.
The shade cloth is awful.
So it's supposed to be 3 people. That's really all I had.
Yeah.
As far as bad, because I fucking enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did.
Moving on, Peter. Well, actually, you know what, Mike? What did you have? Because I know Peter's got a mad list. He's going to lose his mind at us. So let's go. With
White
Mike.
shit. Look, I don't know whether it fits here, but they're trying so hard to develop the universe like Marvel, and it's not happening. And I find they want to go one way, they want to make it gritty, and then Marvel's a bit funny, so then they try to add some jokes in, and it's just jolty. I don't know. I got no words.
I feel like in that instance, like it's always like Marvel have like a team where they sit down like this is where we want the whole storylines to go and meet up and split, and then they write the movies based on what they've been given. But it seems like every DC one's just been like, fucking do what you want.
Exactly. It all
Eventually
goes back
we'll
to Nolan. I
wind them
blame
up.
Nolan.
Yeah.
He ruined it. Unpopular opinion, but
Shazam was a funny one though. That was DC and I actually had like decent jokes.
I enjoyed Shazam until the end. I just didn't like the end. It was a bit too.
Where everyone got powers.
Everyone comes together and it gets a bit cheesy for me, and I was like,
I thought you liked it when everyone comes together.
I was sort of like, that's sort of how it made me
Isn't that
feel.
like what a bukkake's all about?
I'm too far away.
Oh, come on, Pete. You can't like.
I can
you
self-ding.
looked at the bell before you said it. You were like,
Did you just self-book?
I did self-book.
bukkake.
Well, I just wanted to finish first.
All right, Mike. What else did you have, man?
what else do I have? How much time you got here?
As much time as you've got, man.
Look, they were my big ones. The color palette, the gritty edginess. They're trying to make it too real world as well. Like,
Yeah.
I don't appreciate that. Like, I like the way, and I'm not all up on Marvel either, but yeah, DC's just, they're trying too hard to make that real world connection.
All right, Peter.
Yes.
What do you got for us, man?
All right. So I'll start with the first half now, I guess. No.
Like they're breaking up into segments. Chapter 1.
I mean, from the start.
Same as the breaks up in the same chapters that the film is broken up to.
Actually, I did have that when I originally started writing out my issues, and I'm like, no, get rid of it. It's way too wanky. I guess, like, okay, so the first problem I had within, like, the first, 15, 20 minutes, it's sort of like he went to the Michael Bay school of how everything is the most important thing ever. How every shot is like, oh, this one thing, look at it. It is the best thing you've ever seen. How pretty is it as relevant to anything? Like, but everything is like taken with such focus. That shits me off every time. That's and one thing I hate about Michael Bay's films as well. Like, this is nothing to the film. It's just a filler scene, but you're adding so much emphasis on it. which it doesn't have to be there, and that just adds to runtime, which shit me off anyway. Little things like that straight off the bat. Okay, I've got slow mo like 4 times already. Oh yeah, once again a fucking laser in the sky. Jesus Christ, films. Laser in the sky. You don't have to have a laser in the sky in every fucking film.
Marvel were pretty bad for that.
They are also bad at that, and I don't excuse them for that. And in our dummy episode, I did mention that, I think, at one stage. Then I got Ray Fisher as another issue I have. Oh, yeah. Dinah plays archaeologist in the highest of heels. And they don't break.
Slow down.
Yes.
Ray Fisher, do you care to elaborate?
He's like, no.
Not yet.
No, because that's what we're doing. We're talking about the things you don't
I know.
like.
All right. So Ray Fisher, he can't act, man. He's just he can't. It's not really good.
I thought that at first, and then I was like, well, is that his thing as the cyborg? Like, is he purposely doing this?
Like, he can't act because he's half robot. I get it.
Yeah.
It's like
Was it intentional?
I have no
If people
emotions now.
Ray Fisher. Mm-hmm. Now look, you and I are both big Buffy, Firefly fans.
Oh, yeah, this is completely.
But this is disregarding his whingy comments about Whedon and everything.
I wasn't even thinking about that when I was too hungover to think about that.
Fuck. But do you think that the Snyder Cut made people realize that he's still shit?
I fucking hope so, man.
Because like
really
he
hope
seems
so.
to be blaming like his lack of presence in that film and character development on Joss Whedon and other things I saw, which are just ridiculous and stupid.
He did get more character development in this one.
I was literally about to say his character, actual cyborg, was a much more useful, and like I said, everyone had their fair part to play in this at the end of it. So his character was significantly better. I don't say that away from him. He still can't act for shit.
Yeah. The character made sense, but the character still the lines, everything was just no.
It's because he doesn't have that booyah line anymore. If
Yeah,
he
I
had
think
booyah, that would have everyone be like, this guy.
I just feel like I feel like we'd just come in and gone, oh fuck, you're bad, dude. All right, what do I need from you to be here? Like still, and on and then just cut the rest.
Yep.
Because he was like, fuck, this is awful, and just cut it. That's how I see it, but I don't know. There's just some dumb things like physics. I mean, physics in these films don't really exist, but
I feel like you can't make that argument in a superhero film.
no. Okay, but in this case, one thing. Wonder Woman could definitely, like, do you know when she's like going and looking for like the information on the mother boxes and all that sort of stuff, and she falls and she goes into this crypt and she finds a way in. She jumps down this thing. Cool, starts going through. She jumps from like so fucking high down in high heels. Doesn't matter if she could handle that, the shoes couldn't. And she's like, it's just like what? Like how could you land? Like doesn't matter like how good of a like a lander you are. Like she just goes like tonk. You expect the shoes just to go, and she just keeps walking barefoot. Like,
But they did do that with The Flash.
yeah, it's weird because
Yeah,
it
what the
exists in
fuck?
some places and not in others. It's like,
These rules matter here, but not here.
yeah,
She has shoes made from Amazonian
they were
leathers.
just shoes.
And I'm just going to throw this out there one more time. Peter and feet. Peter and feet. Peter and feet. You've got a thing for feet, man.
Peter's got a foot thing.
don't
Mike,
have
just
a
so
thing
you're
for
missing
feet.
out here. This motherfucker pays attention to everyone's shoes. Did you know in Con Air that John Cusack is wearing sandals the whole time? Neither did we, but Peter worked it out.
I appreciate that
I don't.
Eye for
vibe,
detail.
but yeah.
I don't know why. These are just. Shut up, Sam.
And you just no.
Leave me alone.
I've also got.
Pete's always aspired to be the next Quentin Tarantino. He's really...
Wiggle your big toe.
The way they treated Wonder Woman as well, I feel is stupid. Like her armor's gone back from being like effective armor for a woman to being this is how I show off my tits really well is not really useful as armor because it just creates a stabby point right in the middle of your chest. It's very much that pissed me off. Okay, it's CGI. So you get this film right, you get it back. All right, cool. Technology's come so far. I could probably fix this CGI. Nah, fuck that. Let's just run it like it's running a game. Like the first 20 minutes, like when they're going to the
Steppenwolf
Amazon.
looks so much better.
Oh yeah,
His
A lot better.
outfit is
The
insane,
armor,
man. Like
yeah.
the little fragments moving and shit all the time.
That shit was cool. That was I will not take that away. That was cool. but their treatment of like buildings and stuff, or the buildings that weren't there, and like the landscape, especially when they're doing like the Amazonian stuff, like early on, that was fucking bad green screen. Like you could just tell, like, or just like like the way they, I guess, animated it. And then when they're doing that, I mean, sure, if it's quick and fine, whatever, it's cool. But they're doing slow motion in bad CGI moments, and you're like, it gives you the chance to be like, I don't believe a thing. Like it just it pulls you straight out.
As long as we're speaking about bad CGI as well, let's talk about that opening scene with Jesse Eisenberg. They're like CGI'd him into that intro opening sequence with all dark and gritty, and they've got like this thing where he's like supposed to be standing in a puddle of water, and it looks like they've just gone to their intern like, hey man, can you just get the pen tool and Photoshop and cut this guy out and just drop him in here? Yeah. Like it looks really fucking bad.
Okay, that's actually something that really annoyed me. Just that actor in general playing Lex Luthor.
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, anytime he was like Lex Luthor was in that movie, I was like, ugh.
He's not even.
Thank you.
He's not even in it, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in it for like a few small scenes.
Okay.
And the epilogue.
Yeah, they also did a few of his voiceovers for it as well, and I was just like, his voice doesn't sound like something that you'd imagine Lex Luthor would sound like.
Yep.
No. That really pissed me off. The bad CGI, and then I kept looking out for it because it was in the fucking opening.
Yeah.
It just, I'm like, oh, there it is. Oh, there it is again. He didn't fix it. And then old mate rocks up with a good suit, and you're like, okay, cool. Why don't you do that with everything else? Like,
I think a lot of it was reused footage though as well. Like a lot of it was so like with
The green screen is still
Steppenwolf scene
green,
were
though.
already filmed, but they would have reanimated all that CGI. But then like there was a lot of things that were reused footage from old films and old shots. Like there's a scene in there where they took things from Superman Returns. I think one of this was Superman
Or Batman vs Superman as well. I think some stuff was taken
There's like
from.
scenes where they've actually just taken a scene out of that. They've had to cut it, put it in, and animate around it. Which I guess from those of us that don't see those things or aren't aware of those things, it just looks like shit. If you don't know that, you don't give a fuck. And to you, it just looks like shit. So that's
I do remember.
It's a fair point.
I remember
but
there was things that like that. I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. And I was like, was this in the last one? No, this was in Batman and Superman, which was also garbage. But anyway,
Tell us how you really feel, Peter. Dang, it's garbage, yeah, I know, Karen.
fucking Wonder Woman's soundtrack, by the way. Straight up. I know we mentioned that before. That's got to come back.
It's so bad. Like it's like you and Peter and I have talked about like film scoring before and like played with it in our time as musicians, but like everyone's supposed to have a theme, but hers is just the dumbest fucking thing in the world.
Garbage. And do you know what? If you're going to use her theme, use her theme from the other films. Like something that relates to her in any other context than just here. Like it's like,
Was that hers, or I thought that was Aquaman's with the like Icelandic singers?
oh no, that's fucking awful
All right,
too.
that I hated.
When they're all fucking singing. That's actually a point I got here, and I forgot
I
to read
hated
it
that
out.
a lot more than Wonder Woman's.
Oh, what? No, when they're all the like, it's like Bruce Wayne talking to him about like, hey man, you should be one of my bros, and he's like, no, fuck you, can't. And then gets in the water, and then like four chicks just start singing to fucking Bruce Wayne. It's like,
He's so rich, he probably thinks this is just how people act. He's like, oh, they're singing again. Wild.
it's crazy. I came so far out of here. I didn't think anyone was going to recognize me.
No, please. No signatures, please.
I've made a point that I've written. I'm confused. Does Aquaman get cold or not? He's wearing a woolly jumper and then took it off and jumped into the fucking ice water.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
What? Like, surely being in the water is colder than being outside, or am I missing something?
He's just
DC people at us.
He's just a fish out of water, bro. I don't know.
That was bad. That was bad, and you should feel
Fucking
bad.
die.
I don't know. You could. He's trying to blend in. I like.
He's
I
got
don't know. You
tattoos
could
and
try
stuff.
and
Like, oh, don't
to
look
get
at-
something.
I feel like everyone in that pub knows who he is.
Yeah.
Like, I get where you're coming from. Like, yeah, it's a.
I was grasping
argument.
at straws. I'm trying
looking-
to play devil's advocate.
That was something that was annoying. He's like, I'm looking for a certain man, and there's like all these really pale skinned people and like one ripped tan guy, and they're like, we don't know who you're talking about. He could be any one of us.
Yeah.
It's like no one like not for a second. Even Batman's just like, I know it's this cunt. Like, come on, man.
Oh, you must be a detective. No, that one was simple.
No, it's so true though. Adding the Martian Manhunter, like it's cool, but why the fuck was he Marsha Kent?
Yeah, that threw me.
Like, why the fucking point is having him play Marsha Kent when Marsha Kent already exists and she's not dead or anything like that? There's no point to do that. Like why not have the scene with them talking? Because that would be a lot
I'm just
more
going to throw it out
emotionally.
there. I was so confused by that scene. I was like, what?
I can answer that
Fuck,
question
what?
actually why he's in the movie.
Yeah.
Because they wanted Green Lantern, and Warner Brothers said no, we have plans for Green Lantern.
Oh, Jesus.
So instead, like he said, all right, well, and they came to an agreement to have Martian Manhunter in it. Why he did that scene, couldn't fucking tell you.
Yeah. It just takes away from like any like I guess emotional connection like those two could be as like the wife of your dead son and and the mother of the dead son like that any of like that and any of that conversation is mute, and then later on they meet up again and it's just like, hey, it was really nice catching up with you the other day. Like,
What if he probably went there as well and did the same thing to her?
But wasn't that the point that he went there so Lois would go back and be there when the fight happened?
yeah, but
Like,
why the fuck does he care?
Because his Martian Manhunter.
yeah.
It's just, it makes no sense.
Also,
Why didn't he join
Great
him in the
point,
battles
great
too?
point.
If
Yeah,
he's, if he's
exactly.
hanging
Yeah.
around, he's like, you guys got this one.
Yeah. Like, I'm really powerful and I've got my fingers in this, but not enough to
just
like.
things.
I gotta wait
Do
for
it.
the next movie.
Yeah, next movie
Martian
that's not
Man.
coming out
Yeah.
because this is a fucking.
I was just saying to Aaron and anyone who is keen listeners would hear me saying that Martian Manhunter is a great like porn name.
Yeah. Oh no, who will
should we-
save us? I will.
It's
Martian
Martian Manhunter.
Manhunter. Almost as good as like Lance Hardwood or something like that.
The Nightmare epilogue doesn't need to be there. It has nothing to do with anything. Why
I think
not?
that's how like there's a show like this is where it would be going if I still had. It was like a little bit for thank you for the people who paid money because it was crowdfunded as well. Not crowdfunded, but like people crowdfunded a certain amount of money and then he gave it to youth suicide, and that was sort of like a thanks for doing
Yeah,
that.
but at the sake of like making your film no longer make any sense, like
The movie technically ended though.
I think he did it as a power move to like try and force them to make these other movies as
they
well.
won't- they don't
Like,
care about. Obviously, they do not care about like making anything
Man.
work. Another one. What's his name? Henry Cavill. Yeah, he's a good actor. None of like anything that makes him a good actor comes out in this film at all. Like that's what I've watched.
Superman's a very dry character in
Fuck
this film.
Superman.
He's like extra broody. He's like
I think it's because he's been
a
dead
brick
this whole
wall.
time, and they're like, I know you're kind of like weird.
I saw J.J. Abrams said that the chick who played Ray reminds him of like a wooden plank when she acts, which I think is super accurate. Whether you hate or love those sequels, but that's what he sort of reminded me of. It's just like it was just like a wooden plank for that whole film. He didn't really contribute too much until the end when he became a character again. But when they were trying to make him dark Superman and all broody and stuff like that, it was just like boring as fuck.
Was anyone actually excited about the change from the blue and red Superman costume to the black one? Did it do anything for anyone? Did anyone? Actually
I don't know.
care?
I don't know the lore behind that particular suit. All I know is that sometimes I just put pants on because it's the first pair that I just grab.
Yeah. As he's like walking through the ship, all the suits that come out at him, he's like, "Oh, that one looks sick as fuck. I haven't seen that one in a
Yeah,
while."
dude, it's black. That's awesome.
Yeah, fucking Batman should take on my black. I'm gonna wear some black.
so you would have appreciated Zack Snyder putting in another 20 minutes of
Just flipping through.
The story, yeah. Pete's like,
Yeah.
I really wish I had 20
Costume
minutes to
montage.
understand that costume.
No,
you know?
it just goes back to again to like the Warner Brothers model of just not putting any care to anything that's to build to something. It's just always like, let's just make it happen, and then it's got to stick because we're Warner Brothers, and then it doesn't because they Warner Brothers and they clearly don't know what they're doing. Like, and that's the thing. They'll always be behind Marvel on this because they haven't put the time in. They're not willing to do, as I always say, they're not willing to do the Iron Man 1. Like, they're just not there. They won't do it. They'll have the Iron Man 1 that also works into Wonder Woman and Batman and all these other things. They can't just be like, okay, we need to fucking like,
Start from the
Start
start.
from the
Stop
start.
playing catch up.
yeah, and just ignore. They need to ignore what Disney Marvel are doing and just be like, okay, we need to fucking do this. We need to sit down. We need to put in the time.
Would you not
Yeah, but when
say
the-
that
sorry.
Batman Begins is the first
no, because
Iron Man?
there's
Closed in universe?
Yeah. They got to treat their characters like individually before they bring them in. Like now they're doing.
You
like,
are right that like the Batman Begins and those Nolan Batmans
Sorry, Nolan Batman. Sorry.
planted like
I'll
a
let it go.
solid seed to move forward with the films and how they went.
But if they kept that, and then built off that universe, that would have been sick because they had built that foundation of those films.
I think if you look at Nolan's films, sorry,
He's copping sorrows. Sorry.
well, you know, I think it would have been really cool to see Superman in the Nolan universe.
Yeah.
That would have been a much more interesting story, and I think it would have come across a lot better. Also, Nolan's a big fan of practical effects, and I'm a big dick hard boy for practical effects.
You
So,
are a big hard dick boy.
I would have loved to have seen Superman done with practical.
Man, they could have built such a lucrative, like if Nolan kept on, it wouldn't even have to be Nolan though. Nolan could step aside,
yeah.
and they could he does the Batman side of things. You have someone else do the Superman thing, but have them tied into the same universe.
But I think that's where the problem stems. It's not so much the directors. The Snyder Cut will show it's so much better when he got to do his own thing. It's the executives and the people. They're the ones sidetracking it more
You
than.
only have to spend 5 minutes on Wikipedia reading about the Snyder Cut to understand that so much of what was happening with that film was based on it. Literally, like so many things in Wikipedia, but any article you read of any interview about any of the things that have anything to do with the Snyder Cut, it all comes back to the conversation around the pressure from the studio for it to be more like a Marvel film. No, we need more jokes in here. We need more lightheartedness. Hence why Joss Whedon came on board because of what he did with Avengers.
Yeah, it's like
Exactly.
we need to we'll just steal from there and just paste there. Like,
Yep.
And do you know what the funny thing is? That Iron Man and the Christopher Nolan Batman 1 came out in the same year.
Really?
Yeah. Think about
2009, 2008.
Yeah, something like that. So think about that. They did these two things at the exact same time. These guys developed this massive, multi-million-dollar, fucking crazy
Billion.
monster thing.
Yeah, billion.
This side goes like, and fails, and then tries to build it up again, and then fails, and then needs the fucking internet to create a release of cuts off the floor to build a fucking 4-hour film.
But that's what this it could be. That like, oh, maybe we should actually listen to these people we're paying a lot of money to make these. Like,
The thing is, it's got so, and the thing that pisses me off time and time again about DC, it's got so much fucking potential. It's so much potential. Like, if you watched, does anyone ever watch the DC animated films they do?
a little bit.
They're fucking cool. They're really good. They are well better than anything that Warner Brothers has brought out, like in actual film. It's just, they've got so much potential. Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it.
All right, 4-3. At first, it was sort of gimmicky. I was like, okay, and then and like I kind of felt like, oh, is this like Peter Jackson when he tried to sell us on 48 frames per second and everyone fucking hated it? And he just kept telling us it was good, but nobody ever believed him. But to be fair, I was totally okay with 4:3.
I didn't even notice until like I noticed it straight away.
Yep.
But then a few minutes in,
Completely forgot about it.
forgot that it was a thing.
It didn't have to be there. Like, it honestly didn't. It is a bit of wank, but like, yeah, you can let it go.
But Wonder Woman blowing out the side of that building at the start,
Yeah, I had that as one.
that like has the potential to kill so many people because concrete isn't light, but she still does it, and that's like
let's save a bank by blowing the cunt up. America, fuck yeah.
I need that as a soundbite for any time like people kill people with collateral
Yeah,
damage.
absolutely.
When the Amazonians say like they stand their ground like we have no fear, it wasn't really that believable because they were literally panicking and scared of the cube before the big bad guy arriving. Like they were like, oh my god,
The shaky cube, the shaky cube.
and then
Show
they
them your
stand there
fear.
in front of Stephen like we have no fear.
That's so true. That's so good.
They definitely do have fear. All the characters look like they were pulled out of like a full CG film and placed into it. Even though Steppenwolf still looked really good and he looked far better than the last one, I still felt like looking at all the characters, like you said, Peter, you didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I still didn't believe it. There was still something missing from it from me that made me be like, hey, I know that's fake.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like when you look at Thanos in Endgame, you believe it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference is. Someone cares to explain it, that'd be sick, but I don't. Yeah.
Just for like the a note that my wife sent me is the CG looks so bad and cheap, like one of those YouTube ads for Raid of the Shadow Legends.
You know, we're not getting paid for advertisements yet.
It's so good.
At the start, the Amazon woman dies because a horse falls on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Well, the Amazonians, they weren't all superpowered. Only Wonder Woman was. They were just people, but they were just bowler at life.
So, Aaron, as someone who was brought up around farm animals,
Yeah, present.
if a horse fell on a very fit woman on grass, would it kill them?
Like how it happened there? No.
I know that like cows falling on people and animals falling on people can kill them. I just
Absolutely.
didn't believe it that it happened in that scene. It felt like an easy way to kill someone.
It
without
was
making too gory.
a cheap way to knock a character off
Yep.
for sure.
Yep. The drummers in the firelighting scene, they aren't even playing the same song as the score. Like the drums aren't even playing the same drums that are playing in the score, and it's like they're supposed to be, but like they're not. It was just a little thing. If Aquaman takes off his shirt every time before jumping into the ocean, how does he arrive on land with a shirt on?
He has a bunch of different land wenches that just hold his clothes while singing.
Yes,
And
yes.
he-
Say, "Oh."
Yeah. And then takes the clothes off, then they don't need to sing anymore.
I was a little annoyed by him swimming in jeans too. While we're on that,
Oh, and the thing where it's like, is she gonna smell? Like when the first one, and he gives it the shirt, and she takes it. It's like, is she gonna smell?
She
it? Is
looked
gonna smell
like
it? Is
she
gonna
looked
smell it?
like
Is
she
gonna
was
smell it?
going to take it home and do
Yeah, she
bad
did.
things with it.
I hope I'm laying it thick on for you boys.
Yes, it's a good time. I'm crying, but it's a good time. No, I've actually agreed with some of the things that you are saying. Nothing's that pure. You know what I mean? Like I've been like, oh yeah, that was pretty shit. Just to bring back the slow-mo thing one last time, the thing that the main slow-mo one that really pissed me off was a Ray Fisher football flashback.
Oh yeah. Why? Why? Like,
That annoyed the shit out of me. I was like, that was not needed.
So here's what I got. Like here's all my notes on Ray Fisher because I don't want to keep harking back to it. Pete, if you got more, we might as well just get it out of the way now.
Yeah, this is the Ray Fisher segment.
So Ray Fisher sucks, and his cyborg face looks shitty through the window. He just seems annoying and whingy. And then I wrote his complaint, or Cyborg's character complaint, is that if Daddy was at the football game, none of this would have happened. Fuck off. How would Daddy being at the football game have changed you getting
Yeah.
into a car crash?
yeah. I know. I agree with that.
Like what? Fuck off.
Yeah.
That no. Go away. And then I wrote, I hate Ray Fisher. I hope he hears this episode so he can blast us on Twitter and tell the world how mean we are, just so we can become good friends with all the WB executives and they can fuck us but get Joss Whedon to adopt our podcast to a film.
Damn.
So yeah.
That's a thought process, isn't
yeah.
it?
I mean, I don't like the guy. He's just annoying.
I like how he can like bring back like sure he fixes this mechanical thing, but also somehow makes tape work again.
He has magic powers. I like how he could bring the tape back, but not his dad. You know what I mean?
That's fucking
Solid
good.
point. The Batman suit looks so uncomfortable. Every time he turns with his shoulders. Like he's still like it still looks really fucking awkward.
Yeah, that's
when
why he
turns.
hits up
It doesn't
Lucius
look like a
Fox. He's
comfortable
like,
suit.
so you want to move your head, huh?
I get he's supposed to
In
look
the
tough and
Nolan
buff.
universe.
It all comes back to Nolan.
I'm just going through my wife's comments and they're the best. Lois and Clark somehow have less chemistry.
That is true though. That one was true. They're just like, I love you, and I'm like, do you? It sounds looks like you're more like apathetic roommates than anything else.
Can we talk about the Nightcrawler? His
Nightcrawler?
spider fucking robot
Oh
thing.
man, yeah.
What a useless fucking thing. It's like, oh, this is cool. And it's like, it's not cool. This is shit. This is a stupid thing. It's just as useless in this as it was in Joss Whedon's Justice League. It's just as fucking useless.
Don't worry, Alfred. I'm driving. Also acting.
Is he?
Look, I have a pro Ray Fisher thing. His least annoying scene is when he explains the history of the mother boxes.
You're like, I've done my part.
And then I wrote, at least Cyborg has a genuine purpose in this version.
Yeah, it's weird that he's like the key to the entire thing. It's like, let's make him the key.
well, that reminds me of another point when Diana goes down and reads all the cave paintings or whatever they are.
With the ironclad shoes.
Yeah, with those. Then she goes and sees Bruce and tells him about it, and she's like, "The threat's already hit." Like, how did she know Steppenwolf was already? All she knew was it had happened.
Yeah, all she saw is a photo of Darkseid.
No,
Like
no,
a-
because
Actually,
the
they
Amazonians
sent- they
lit that
s-
lantern up.
They shot the big spicy stick across the Amazon Sea or whatever it
But
was.
all that did was let her go into the room and tell her the history, didn't it?
But
that was like let
that was
her
a
know
sign.
that danger is coming, sort of thing.
Yeah,
That was
because
a
they're like,
sign
they're
of
like,
something. Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah,
what's
okay.
gonna know? And she'll be like, don't worry, she'll know. And I guess she's just like,
Movie
spicy
magic,
stick.
Mike.
What happens if she didn't watch fucking TV? You know, like what happens? Like
Well, because I guess like it was a library or something they were codifying. So like
no,
she's an
it was
academic.
the fucking
It was like ruins in the Pantheon or something like that.
Oh, no, that's right. There's a fire that kept going out, but she's also an archaeologist. So they would have been like, "Oh, did you hear about that fire and then like, that old ruins that hasn't gone out?" She'd be like, "Well, yeah, spicy stick came from the sky."
spicy stick.
And the fire's just been raging
How
for
is it
like
that-
days.
So there would have been a fire there. Obviously, they would have put it out, but she still managed to find the stick. Like, oh yeah, that no one like went. That's not meant to be here. And
There was
fucked
no
off
one
with it.
also there, like just like nothing was taped off. She just rocks up like, "Oh, cool, coast
Use
is
that
clear."
stick, yeah,
I don't know. It wasn't Greece. That's kind of how they roll there. Like,
we don't have the money for that. It'll go out by itself.
It's stone. Stone can't double catch on fire.
That's me for all my points, Pete. What else you got for us, mate?
Oh Jesus Christ!
You don't have to go through all of them. If you think you're going to be retreading old ground.
No,
that's
there's
cool.
more. There's more.
Yeah, he's barely at chapter 3.
What's a fucking real name? The one who shits on beds.
What?
Amber Heard.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know.
Amber Heard, right? Sure. Okay. She speaks. She's suddenly got a British accent in this. She hasn't in anything else, but in this one, she does.
Yeah, I read that online. Did they dub her or did she do that?
No, that's her. But why the fuck is she doing a British accent? What the fuck is going on? Like, why are you using a British accent in here?
I think because that part was filmed actually before the Aquaman movie.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
And
Use
so
a
they-
fucking British accent in the background.
No,
of that
yeah,
movie.
but like it was the same thing that you're talking about now, where like they don't talk to each other in the DC universe.
Yeah,
So like they were
okay.
just like, "Oh, I did a fucking British accent before," and they're like, "Well, you do whatever the fuck you want now. Like you didn't, it didn't come out, so you can do whatever you want." And so they do Aquaman, and she's got like a American voice or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, Snyder Cut," and she's like, "Oh shit." They're gonna know I did a really bad
fucking stupid.
British accent.
So stupid.
That's a rookie error right
Do you
there.
know what I think? That's my shitty.
To really sum it up is, well, like all I've got is I'd rather watch a shitty movie that's 2 hours long than a shitty movie that's 4 hours long.
So you would rather watch Justice League 2017
No, I'd rather watch.
than
I would-
Justice League Zack Snyder cut.
if
That's what you're telling me.
if Snyder Cut could be cut and cut.
It was cut bigger. It was like a reverse circumcision, but in film form.
It's like the entire dick grew back. Like a dick grew out of another dick.
They cut it, and it was just like extra dong. This movie hurt you, didn't it?
was
It's
just-
almost like you shouldn't have watched it while you were.
Nah, I mean, I think I've pretty much sufficiently shit on this film.
One thing I
right?
know you didn't really go into, you mentioned it, but you didn't dig deep enough, is when the Flash trips over.
Oh yeah, like it's like the only way they could make him. Like this guy can do pretty much everything that needs to be done for this film. Like this guy could be the main hero if we wanted to, but he can't be. So we're just going to make him a little bit clumsy.
He trips not once, but twice.
Also, how does the guy miss him with the gun when he's running in the same circle?
You just wouldn't
Like-
you just sit there and go?
Just shoot it. Yeah, he's gonna hit it.
Eventually, I'm going to get him. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with that. I actually thought about that myself. Why? He's like, this guy's like intentionally like, oh no, he's over there now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's back.
He's so fast.
And then he fucking still manages to get him too, like after all that. And he's like, oh, my leg. Wait, I can heal quickly because I'm fast.
Everything's fast. His metabolism, so like he eats pizza good, so he
Yeah.
heals.
Yeah, and then he's the one who has to like save the world. Realistic. Flash is the hero of the entire thing. Like Flash should be the main character because he's the one who fixes it.
I know they were losing, and then Superman was just like, "I'm back, guys, and I'm good again." And then he started like whooping ass.
Yeah, and that was kind of cool. But then again, it's like, fuck Superman.
You can't have a demigod just rocking through like, "Ha ha ha! Take this, evildoer!"
Yeah, it's just like playing Doom with all the cheats on. Like, nah.
Act like you've
That's a
never
great
done
way to
that.
put it, yeah.
Just like that is Superman. And then it's like, oh, but wait, he's with Superman, still managed to fuck up. Need the Flash to run quick. He's the main character.
I
And he's
can't
not-
argue that.
I agree.
I can't argue that.
Yeah, but because they can't make him the main character, they make him clumsy. It's like he runs He fucking runs for a living. I'm sure he could see a fucking rock. Like, his job is to run quick. He'd be like, avoid the rock really quick.
He's run the circle more than 3 times. I did the math. And you would have thought you'd see that rock after the third go?
Yeah. I've managed to miss this rock every fucking time. Do you know what? I'm going to spice it up a bit by tripping on this cunt. Like,
The inconsistencies with his power is what annoyed me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you never know quite what speed he's at.
Yeah, how fast
and
is he going?
Not to go back to it, but the physics of it. Like, when he puts his finger out and that breaks the glass and he slides along, that tears up all the road. But then he grabs a girl and puts it, like, the physics involved would just shred her body. But that's nitpicking.
yeah, wouldn't he also, like, because he's shoes... Because he's
shoes
fast, but
explode.
is his skin, like, super skin? Like, wouldn't he have just fucking busted feet? Like, isn't this, like, just... This guy, like, just shred all to knees, like,
I
across
just
the
point
tarmac?
out that if he rips his shoes off when he turns around, he also rips his clothes off because shoes are a thicker fabric than fucking clothing. So if his shoes come off, so does his clothes.
Isn't that why when Ben Affleck's like going through the Flash's weird, creepy love palace thing, and he's like, "Oh, nice suit," and he's like made out of some stupid fabric that they just pulled a name out of their anus, and he was just like, "Yeah, I do a lot of
quantum
intense.
particles.
I do a lot of crazy yoga or whatever."
Ice
he's
skating.
like. Yeah, ice skating.
Competitive ice skating.
Like
It wasn't something off, like, a spaceship
when-
for, like, re-entering?
That-
something
that-
Yeah.
something like that.
That scene when he saves the girl, he's just wearing normal clothes.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't argue that.
But
one.
then
Yeah,
that's just like it's superhero physics. You just kind of let it
yeah.
go.
How come
a
when the
bit,
Hulk
like-
gets real big, he still has the same pants? on?
Yeah,
They're stretchy.
Bruce Banner's a smart dude. Like,
He made stretchy pants.
Gamma rays. It's gamma rays in his pants.
quantum nano gamma rays. All right. I think that's enough.
That's enough of why I think it's shit. Why do you think it's shit?
We've
Already done that.
We did everyone else first for a reason, Peter.
I may have gotten carried away.
No, it was
Alright.
fine.
We've all been there, okay? All right, it is time for fan fiction. Fan fiction means that we read a story we found on the internet about characters from the film we're talking about, and they're fucking.
They be fucking.
This is the first time we've gone straight with the sex.
Whoa, get the fuck
it's
out.
usually it's usually gay or like interspecies. This is the first time we've sort of gone. I mean, technically, it could be considered not straight depending on how you look at these two characters. This is between Diana and Darkseid.
Gonna catch some of this Dioc.
Get that dark dick.
Doxy Dioc.
I'm sorry, one.
Just gonna get a little more wine in your Pete.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, look, you're gonna fucking need it.
Yeah, this.
Mike, are you a little nervous here, mate?
I'm a little excited.
Yeah, look, hand off it.
Are we gonna need a cigarette after this, or what? Like,
I feel like someone's gonna need a cigarette, and it might be Diana by the looks of this.
So this one was taken from adult-fanfiction.org. It was written by Django. It was like
.org.
4,000, 5,000 words long. It is a .org.
So it's
yes.
an organization. I'm so happy to hear that. Not for profit.
So it was like 4,000 words. I think I had to cut it right down.
So 1,300 words.
1,300 words is what I think I got it down to, which is still a lot.
A lot of words.
Yeah, still fucking a lot of reading to do here.
it's like at least in one essay.
This is like the longest story we've told on here right now, and I had to cut so much out. And it was hard because it was really graphically written as well, and the more graphic it is, the more exciting it is.
Word.
The author of this would like you to know as a disclaimer that this is a work of fiction, and he does not or she does not condone in any way this kind of treatment that happens in this fan fiction.
More importantly, they don't make any profit,
That's right.
and they don't own DC.
Or Justice League, or Wonder Woman, or Darkseid.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to the podcast now, thanks.
So this story takes place after all the members of the Justice League have fallen during a battle with Darkseid. The only remaining member is Wonder Woman. To save her friends, Diana has two choices. She fights Darkseid and likely dies, or she brings Darkseid to climax. The following is just a short but action-packed excerpt of a very long story that can be found on adultfanfiction.org. If you want to hear Diana suck Darkseid dick and have her first orgasm with him, head to the link that we put into the comments. We always edit these down to suit the purposes of the show, so we hope you enjoy it. Aaron, you actually start this one as Darkseid. So,
oh my god!
yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Pete, when you're ready, you wanna? You can lead us in on some
you start playing. I'm just gonna start talking, mate.
I am not impressed, Wonder Woman. Look at you, you're nothing but a slut. You want my cock more than anything in this world.
Diana's eyes flew open and she glared at him once more, even as she trembled from the aftershocks of her orgasm.
You're wrong.
Darkseid snorted and shook his head in amazement. Even now, she remained strong. She would have made a fine addition to his army.
You can't possibly believe that, you foolish woman.
A grin crossed his face and he raised his hand. The golden cord flew through the air from its place on the floor to land in Darkseid's palm. He then looped her own lasso on her neck. She continued to glare at him, defiant, even as she was on her knees.
Let's see what you really think. What do you truly want, Amazon?
He snarled.
What do I want? I want to see you die slowly, painfully, and mark my words, I will be getting my wish soon enough.
Darkseid's eyes lit up with red flames, and his face twisted into a hideous grimace. The entire hall seemed to shake with his rage. He tore the lasso free and hurled it as if it were trash across the hall. He would teach this Amazon humility.
You wish to insult me?
He growled, scooping her up in his arms as he did. Her legs wrapped instinctively around him as he lowered her down onto his cock with a single smooth motion. She gasped, closing her eyes once again. He slammed her back into the wall with such force that the ancient stone cracked, sending even more debris showering down. Diana wheezed as all the air was driven out of her lungs and the monster was forced even deeper inside her. Her hands scrambled against the wall, desperately trying to find some purchase as Darkseid began to pound into her with even more force than before. She shook like a rag doll as he fucked her into the wall. Her mouth was wide open and eyes bulging as he tore her apart from the inside. With each thrust, more and more cracks spread like a spiderweb from the impact of the mad and fuckfest. Diana could do nothing but take the assault, her entire body quaking with each vicious thrust. She felt the pressure building inside her, and before long, she exploded, screaming for all she was worth. It felt like he was about to fuck her straight through the wall. Darkseid's eyes were blazing while he fucked her into submission, his hips pistoning back and forth like a machine intent on destroying its target.
Oh, God, Sarah!
She screamed, spasming as if she was being electrocuted. The entire hall was shaking.
Athena, Dementor, Zeus, oh, God, fuck.
I told you.
Pausing his thrusting for just one moment and he smothered her against the wall. She moaned deliriously in his grip, sucking in as much air as possible during the brief reprieve.
The only name you're allowed to scream is mine.
His fingers dug hard into her already bruised thighs.
Scream my name.
Darkseid began plunging into her battered pussy like a madman. The entire place was rocked to its foundations and the ceiling began to crumble around them. Writhing once again like a mad snake in his grip, her arms flailed madly, and then curled around Darkseid's neck, nails scraping against his granite skin. The new god snarled and twisted away from the wall. He leaped, soaring high above the ground before slamming back down into the middle of the throne room, driving Diana back first into the stone. The impact threw an explosion of dirt and shrapnel, creating a wide crater where the entwined pair continued their maddening fucking in the center.
Darkseid,
The fierce warrior king of Apocalypse unloaded all of his rage into the Amazon, thrusting with all his strength, intent on shattering his prey. The monstrous head of Darkseid's cock gouged repeatedly into the deepest depths of Diana's pussy, and it was simply too much for the Amazon to take. Her eyes rolled back into her skull as she felt her entire body convulsing in one long, never-ending orgasm, juices spraying like a fountain from her pussy, even as Darkseid continued to thrust. It was all too much. Darkseid paused and looked down upon her. He was not finished with her yet.
Now, Wonder Woman.
His voice tight with strain, he thrust once more, just to hear the woman squeal before stopping dead inside her, his cock still pulsating in her burning hot sheath.
I will ask you again, what do you want?
Diana shuddered as she felt his hot breath cascade across her face. The shame was burning her, but so was the agony of lust that Darkseid had stirred up within her. It was like nothing she'd ever experienced before, an insatiable, mountainous hunger that threatened to consume her entire being.
Fuck me!
Darkseid snarled and planted a thunderous smack on her glistening ass.
Louder!
Fuck me!
Her voice shuddering as if it was against her very soul to let words out. She was desperate. She needed it. She needed to feel that rod inside her.
Not good enough. I want you to scream it.
Fuck me! Fuck me!
Darkseid began slamming into his prey once again like a mad dog, causing her to jerk and shudder across the throne, her tits dragging against the hard granite and leaving streaks of sweat. She was shaking like a leaf in his grip, her weight completely supported by his hands as she bawled her brains out.
Oh, fuck!
Diana shrieked as he continued to pulverize her, grinding her into a pile of sexual mush. She wailed as he slammed into her, shredding her pussy. Her legs began to tremble violently as she moaned and quaked and writhed. She was no longer Wonder Woman, no longer Diana. She was an animal, a primal creature of lust.
Oh my god.
Switching his grip from her wrist to her waist, Darkseid lifted her up as he thrust upwards so that she was lifted clear of the throne and into the air, her eyes bulging from the force of the thrust. In that same motion, he literally threw her into the air, with a twisting motion so that she slid up and off his dick, at least 6 feet straight up. Diana squealed in surprise as she went airborne, flailing in the air above. Darkseid sat himself down on his throne and watched as Diana fell from the air onto his cock. He impaled her on his rod so that she was stuck there, impaled and screaming. His cock was so tight inside her, stretching her wide, but her slippery cunt walls...
Cunt walls, yes.
But her slippery cunt walls were lubing its surface, providing her with a greasy pole on which to be bounced.
Prepare yourself, Amazon.
Darkseid spat, his thrusting arc intensifying violently as he truly began to sexually envelop with the writhing heroine. All Diana can do was hold on for dear life as Darkseid savagely showed her no mercy.
Oh god. Yeah.
Diana screamed in orgasmic submission as she felt her orgasm hit like a wrecking ball, slamming her into synapsis, her head now bouncing like a rubbery marionette on her shoulders.
Oh, fuck. Darcy, no, please, have mercy. I can't take it anymore. You're taking me.
Her cries fell on deaf ears as Darkseid continued to thrust like a brutal machine, pounding into an overstimulated puddle on the floor. Darkseid did not notice that she had gone completely limp, so berserk was he with lust and fury. He jackhammered into her again and again. His thrusts had lost their rhythm, becoming more and more desperate. He was reaching his limit. Breathing hard for the first time in centuries, Darkseid thrust once, twice, 3 times, each one shaking the palace to its core. Then finally, Darkseid pulled free of the fuck-numbed Amazon and let her jellified legs fall to the shattered ground as he stood. The new god's seed burst out with tremendous force, splattering first in a great goopy blast on her chest. Then 5, 6 jets of sticky cream blasted Diana's flushed face. Thick droplets ricocheting everywhere. The Amazon had been utterly doused in his spunk. Wonder Woman had been utterly fucked into oblivion. She lay on the cracked floor, splattered with cum and laying in a pool of her own sweat and fuck juice. Her eyes were closed, with spunk pooling in her eyelid and oozing across her bright red face and lips. Her entire body was trembling in the aftershock. Darkseid smiled, rubbing his hands together as a string of his thick gunk dripped from his juicy cock. This was only the beginning.
Woo! That was fucked.
Fuck you. Fuck you, Aaron, so much. I fucking pissed myself at that. That was the best shit ever. I feel like that needs to be my alarm in the morning. Just that last shit you said. Just every morning, wake up to that, be like, woo. I'm ready to stop the day.
Yeah, I read some books on how to do that. So I'm pretty much an expert now.
I didn't feel dirty at all.
Mike, how do you feel, mate?
How's your pants, man?
Lord
Disturb.
have mercy, I got the vapors.
He's like, I come here, they have a book bell.
he
One dude
comes in.
squealing like a girl. Thank you.
Oh, that was amazing. Oh, my cheeks hurt.
It's so hard. Like now that we're doing it like this way in this sort of format where I'm narrating it,
Yeah.
it's so hard
Yeah.
when you're doing those fucking voices. Like you're just like committing to that orgasm so hard, man, and it's throwing me the fuck off. I'm like trying to recollect. I'm like, okay, no worries. Dark side continued to fuck her. Like,
Man, I have a hard enough time like hitting the note, right? Like by laughing. Or like pulling my headphones out because I'm laughing so much. You know, that's the sort of shit that... I don't know how you do it, man. I'm glad I have my job.
it's funny because when I'm like looking for these now, I'm looking for ones that are more dialogue heavy, so Aaron has to do more work. But like, this is the only good one I could find that was like disgusting.
It was filthy. It was weird reading about hetero stuff. Like, it's very strange.
Yeah,
Yep.
gross, right?
Used to like two dudes boning each other and like,
Or like getting fingered by the predator.
Yeah, just anything. Like,
Arnie just like, yes again.
So what did you guys
Against
do
the
for
back.
Jurassic Park? Was there
that was
dinosaurs
an
involved?
interspecies one.
Interspecies, yeah.
Yes.
It was. I found a good dinosaur one. That one.
Oh, that is
I
amazing.
didn't know. Isn't that the one that turned into Jerry Son? No.
No.
No, the Jerry Seinfeld was something different.
My favorite line, I think Aaron will agree with me on this, is but her slippery cunt walls.
Oh man, that got me. That got me so well. Well, I got that thing like a few hours ago, and I had a quick little look over it, but I didn't read it. I was just like, "Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one." That was
Missed
fuck.
that one, didn't you?
Oh man, slippery cunt wall was just there. It creeps up on you sometimes, you know.
Or drown, down, whatever.
Yeah, true. Slid down on me.
Yeah.
Oh,
That happened, didn't it?
phrasing.
All right,
That was beautiful.
moving on.
That was the best thing about this film. I'm sorry about that.
I'm glad I could be a part of it, man.
You built, like, I was like unsure about that film, and then you did this. Now I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's all right.
It's definitely watchable.
But I can't.
Aaron, Pete watches it and he's like, wait, where's that scene they did?
Yeah, it's like I keep in my head that,
Yeah,
It's meant to
Wonder
happen
Woman
here.
fucks that guy. I swear to God.
like, wait, is that her looking at Darkseid? Lustfully through that window.
Let's just talk about the simple things about the film. Let's just ponder some possibilities, things how we could make it better, and you know, before we summarize. Well, not necessarily make it better, maybe make it stupider or funnier, but
Yep.
that's on us. So, who was the real hero?
Flash. I've even got that,
Yeah,
I've
I
even
think
got that
I
here.
almost did that.
I wrote Joss Whedon.
I get it, because if he hadn't have fucked up
Hashtag
so
hero.
much.
That's
we
literally
wouldn't
what I
have- we
wrote.
wouldn't have
Without all
gotten
of his like redheaded creepiness, this cut of the film would never exist. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, cancel culture. You thank Joss Whedon for your glorious
Thank
Snyder
you.
cut.
Thank you for everything you've done, sir.
Moving on. Who has the most punchable face?
Lex Luthor.
I'm not going to go first because I think we all know what I'm going to say. So
Lex Luthor, straight up. I know he was in like that little cameo and his voice was in it. But God, I hate that guy. I hate him.
I agree,
So
but I'm a little torn. Amber Heard
Are
as
you
well.
okay?
do you deal with Darkseid too? Did you?
Oh, yes.
Amber Heard is definitely annoying, and I don't like a lot of the things that she's done, but she hasn't got a punchable face.
Yeah.
She has a punchable personality.
I guess that's probably what it's stemming from.
She got a horrible personality.
Pete.
Crazily enough, the Flash, his face is punchable.
He does have-
I love the actor. He's great, but you look at him and you're like, I could punch that kid. And I could punch him so hard.
I'm not going to
He
lie.
couldn't.
He was my
He's going to
second
be
choice.
so fast. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
like-
quick. I don't know if you ever know this.
Yeah. I'm talking about just the face.
Oh,
The
he
face
does
can't
have a
move. The
punchable
face
face.
is just there.
Yeah.
I
Nah.
could hit that shit. I could hit that. What about you, Sam?
Ray Fisher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, holy
That
shit.
is a shock.
What? Okay. If you could change something about it to make it better, what would that thing be?
Are you looking at me this time?
Yeah.
Actually talking to me?
Go on, Pete. Do it, you little bitch.
Start the cunt again. Start it again. Do it again. Just do it again. It's lost. Do it again. Just start again. You need to start it again. You just need to start that fucker again. I'm going to say it again.
So you're changing something about it. What would you change?
The entire thing.
Fair enough. Right.
All of it says.
Like, no.
Can you pitch that film to us, please? Can you pitch the better version of it?
Imagine having a film that just completely fell apart. How about instead of just trying to sticky tape it back together and hope for the best, you write the script again so it makes sense. Here, buddy, have a couple mil.
The idea for this one was not to redo it. It was to give people like his original.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it feels like when you like delete something from your computer and you're like, where the fuck is it? And you go through the garbage bin and you start
You put it back together and you kind of realize why you deleted it in the first place. Be like, no, I'm just going to go through it.
But you've committed. Like, Sam, you and I deal with this all the time. We build things. We're like, that's garbage. And then we get rid of it.
Yeah, but people, we're architects. It's just our life, mate.
Yeah. And then we sometimes go back to an idea. And that one part of that idea is fine. We keep that and we fucking shelve the rest because it needs to go. There's a reason why we've shelved the rest.
It's because the load-bearing wall isn't in the right place. And if we don't put it in the right area, the whole thing's going to fall apart. Yeah. It's the part.
Sometimes you just have to empty the recycle bin. You can't just keep all the files in there and just pull them when you need them. They're there for a reason.
I got lost in this conversation because after that,
it's trash. The fucking film is trash.
No, like he said, load bearing, and after that,
oh yeah.
After that, I hear the word load, and I had like numb flashbacks. The Fortunate Son was playing in my mind, and I was like, no, it's Charlie everywhere.
Cool. Aaron.
Yes.
You could change something about it. Think about it.
I'm going in the opposite direction to Peter.
It's like nothing. It was perfect. Oh my god! Here's my fedora. Check it out.
No, I reckon it would have been better if they had have done it as a sort of like series, sort of like the BBC Sherlock. How it's like 3 episodes, but they go for 2 hours each.
I think there was like conversation that it was going to be 6 episodes.
Yeah, it was going to be like 6 or 7 episodes. I feel like that would have been easier to digest for a lot of people.
In parts though, wasn't that the whole idea? Because it didn't BBC
and then
Max
they were like, nah, fuck, we're just gonna HBO Max.
Yeah,
they were like, fuck, we're just gonna smack it together as one long movie. I feel like if they had broken it into like the 2 hours or something, it would have given you more hours. I'm so sorry, Peter, but it would have
been happier.
They would have probably easier bites, like a movie length sort of thing. Add more story to it. They could have fucked around with it.
You can
a
turn
little
this
more.
film into movie length. It's strange, isn't it?
Weird.
Yeah, right.
That's probably what I would have done to make it a little better.
You put it down to it's too long.
I was not for me, but like I can see why people would be like some people have things that they have to do. like not jerk off and play video games like I do. Like people have lives and family members that depend on them and things.
But that life does sound pretty fantastic.
I'm not gonna lie, it's all right.
Mike, if you could change something about it to make it better, what would that thing be?
I'd change the font in the title sequence. Or no.
A nice Comic Sans.
Yeah. Times New Romans classic. I don't know. I got nothing. I'm not good enough. And yeah.
You don't have to have anything.
Yeah.
Just think really cunty and then just say whatever comes to mind.
I would put that sex scene in there, maybe. Like.
See, you and I agree on that.
There needs to be more fucking in this.
You need to show some dong or something, maybe.
Darkseid dong. Just
It's just Cyborg and he goes this big fucking black dong goes, what?
If I could change one thing about this movie to make it better, what would that thing be? I came up with 2 things. I couldn't
pick
not
one.
put Ray Fisher into this comment, so I had to think of something else.
Of course.
The first thing I had was like 3 hours, not 4. 3 hours. I can watch Lord of the Rings in one sitting and not feel like I'm going for like I don't feel like I'm doing a job or anything. I can just enjoy it. Could have been 3 hours, not 4. But otherwise,
It's like drunken sex. Like it's not like that drunken sex thing.
I like how you're telling people right now that you have drunken sex for 4 hours, and you're like, I just wish I could do it for 3.
Or coke sex. Coke sex. Like
Allegedly, we read about coke sex.
yeah.
And then obviously my other one was replace Ray Fisher with someone who behaves less like a child that had his candy taken from him.
Well, I guess that goes to the next one. Who would you?
This is where I threw a curveball in.
Yeah.
I like to be predictable,
Predictable
so
Samuel.
if I could recast a leading role, who would I recast that with, and who would replace the actor/actress? I would replace all the actors with Peter Dinklage. Think Eddie Murphy's Norbit, but with Peter Dinklage. Also, no one could make fun of it if it tried to take itself seriously because PC culture couldn't cancel little people.
Jesus fuck.
I'll go next. Mine would be the classic. I would replace Lex Luthor with Michael Cera because I feel like he would do a better job.
I think he'd look better without hair as well.
I think, yeah, he'd have a more like even head and be like, "Oh, we gotta get Superman, you guys." I just fucking love that idea. I don't know why.
You're so into Michael Cera, man. Like,
He's just like the weirdest looking dude with his like creepy predator mustache.
it's never grows through enough. Like,
It's just not, man. I'm sure he's a nice guy too, but like I'm just like, I want him to be every villain in every movie. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Stop. Don't start this shit. I don't have the stomach muscles today for this.
Mike.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. The Adrian Grenier from Entourage.
Oh yeah,
I want him to play Aquaman.
the main guy.
Because in Entourage, he does like...
He played, yeah.
If going back and watching Entourage is like going back and watching like Californication, it's just hard to watch.
Oh really? I
think
want
so,
to rewatch Californication. I fucking love that show.
It's still got some like good moments in it, but it's mostly.
I think
just hard to watch.
in the first season, like my old Facebook still has like a line from there, like I won't go down in history, but I'll go down on your sister, and I'm like, that's a fucking banger.
Is this the whole thing about how Entourage is the worst shit in the world? Because I'm there.
I've watched a few seasons of it. I liked Ari Gold. That character fucking made that
That show would never get made in this day and age.
Oh no!
Like,
Even would
never.
Wasn't that like loosely based off like Mark Wahlberg's life or some shit?
Something like that.
Wild. Who was next?
Peter.
we take a page out of the Lex Luthor hate, but I'm not going to go as like just the next
Michael
version
Cera.
of them.
A better. I think you mean a better version.
Yeah, I think Jesse Eisenberg is below Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to like replace them with someone who's almost the same person, and you put them next to each other, you'd probably think they're the same.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for what's his name? Arnold Vosloo, who is the Mummy.
What?
The guy who played the Mummy in The Mummy.
Oh, the original one.
Yeah. Oh, not the original. The
The
Mummy's
Tom
like-
Cruise one, the good one.
Oh fuck, Sam! We need to have a conversation. No, the Brendan Fraser one.
You were
the
about to
19
catch some fists there.
the 1999 one. He's already bald. It's all good, but he has like that Lex Luthor look to him, like any comic book Lex Luthor look. He's that guy. Like if you think about how you remember him from the comics and stuff like that, this dude is that guy. This dude is the guy you think of when you watch the cartoons and stuff like that. Like look.
He's
I'll bring
he's
him up.
a little tan, isn't he?
Oh, but dude, you
he's
just
also
color.
European.
Yeah,
Look,
Lex is like
if
pale.
Ray Fisher can be color coded to different colors, then this
That's
cunt
because
can
one's
too.
digital, one's analog.
Like,
Okay.
look at that guy. He's Lex Luthor.
Swing us a look.
To me, he's just the guy from The Mummy.
No,
us a
but
look.
you're.
He
I
looks
can
like
kinda
like
see it.
Jason Statham, and who's the dude who played Batman like years ago? Who was also
Michael Keaton.
yeah. It looks like the love child of those two.
He's Michael Keaton.
I had Mark Strong to play Lex.
Oh, that'd actually be a good one.
I think he would actually be decent.
Yeah, because he can be intimidating.
He's the guy from Kingsman, the guy that gets blown
he's in,
up.
Oh,
he's,
yeah.
he's in like Lock, Stock,
But just
Two
look at
Smoke.
that. Sorry,
Oh, no.
sorry, just to argue.
Yeah, I see it. I see that.
Yep. I see the Mark Strong.
I would definitely take it over Jesse.
Yeah.
Let's just say
Like
that much.
the
Yeah,
bone
that was a
structure.
really bad casting choice. I don't know.
I
why
hope whoever that
a
was
thing.
got taken out the back and just shot.
Yeah, I think he was a thing then, like when Batman. Was
He's a
Superman
good
came out.
actor. Don't get me wrong.
Is he?
Yeah,
He's like,
Or is he just
I
like,
just
am
did-
I'm the
He's
same
got a
actor every
punchable
time?
face.
he
I
had
just
a
did the
punchable
network.
face. Yeah.
Oh.
But he's not good Lex Luthor.
I'm socially awkward and things are weird.
What's
It
that?
wasn't
What's
the
that?
whole thing that they
Zombieland.
made it
Zombieland.
yeah.
he was fine that because
Perfect design, but then
his
'cause his
character
character
was,
suits
was
it.
shitty.
Doesn't fucking suit it.
Now You See Me.
God, those movies are awful. Can we do them as just shitting on films? I don't understand how that film got a fucking sequel. What the
Like
fuck?
Tom Segura says like, or I think it was Tom Segura. That was like, how do they not call the second one Now You Don't? Like, he's like,
Oh my god!
he's like,
Missed opportunity.
he's like, it's fucking outrageous that they never called the second one Now You Don't.
That's
I just don't know how the fuck it got a sequel. There was nothing clever about that film.
I liked it.
Look, I like
Oh man,
I like the female leads in that one.
didn't do it for me. I was like this. The
You're like-
whole
you're like,
time,
this isn't real
start to
magic.
finish, like this is just stupid.
You don't like
You're
Burt
upsetting
Wonderstone meets
Sasha.
Ocean's 11? What the fuck's wrong with you?
For all its flaws, Burt Wonderstone was even better than that. though.
Banger movie.
Do we need to do like an Ocean's 11 film?
I would love watching
we
those
could do
again.
that,
They-
yeah.
I could rip them.
I'm all into that.
And I like those movies, but I could rip them for sure.
I feel like it'd be really easy.
Yeah, but that's good. Less work for me.
It's fish in a barrel right there. Like,
Yeah, are we shooting? Are we shooting like or punching down at that stage?
With
No,
Ocean's
because they're
11.
popular.
Peter,
Yes.
if Tim Burton was holding a Helena Bonham Carter to your head and would only let you live if you got a line from this film tattooed on you, what line would that be?
Booyah!
But it's not a line in this film because I wrote the exact same thing.
I see
Wait,
that.
are we getting matching tattoos, Sam?
Oh my god! Mike, did you have anything for this?
I've already started designing this tattoo.
Okay, you're getting
It's
this.
beautiful.
Yeah, this is happening.
I'm taking the Flash, make your own future, but I'm going full basic white girl with it, like the dandelions that trail off into
Yeah,
a flock
yeah.
of birds.
Yeah.
Is it tramp stamp?
Fly
Oh
away.
yes,
or
tramp
anything.
stamp.
Thank you.
Dreamcatcher.
Yep.
Yeah.
Feathers.
Just,
Sorry.
You aren't allowed to call it a tramp stamp anymore. What's the actual
Arse
term?
antlers.
Arse antlers. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, arse antlers. is
Arse
the right
antlers.
term.
Arse antlers.
Yep.
I think I like that more though.
Well, you aren't calling someone a tramp, so you know it's better. Check out my arse antlers.
I just like
Nothing
the
offensive
whole idea of
about
antlers though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Antlers are cool.
That's new to me. I've never heard that term.
Arse antlers.
Yeah,
You learn new
I like
things when
that.
you hang
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Because you're not
Yeah.
woke, bro. You're not woke. It's in chapter 3 of being woke.
First two chapters are a slog, but once you hit chapter 3, it's pretty sweet.
All right, put me onto you, guru.
Hi.
Aaron, what did you have?
Okay, so you know me, I like big, elaborate back pieces.
Yep.
Okay, so for this one, you know the meme from like Pulp Fiction where John Travolta's looking around all confused, and he's like what? Huh? It's actually the Flash, and he's looking all confused. Like you know the scene where everyone just disappears when they're talking to
Commissioner Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon. Yep, and he's like, "Oh, that's rude." It's gonna be the Flash looking around all confused, like pointing, like they're gone. Oh, that's rude. But it's like a big back piece.
That's beautiful.
Thank you,
I didn't have anything. I just went with Booyah, and then
because you both are basic bitches, is what I've learned from
I just
this.
think it was the best line in both those films. Like, it's such a shame it didn't make the cut.
so
in
good
the
in the
Snyder
first
cut. Like,
one, it automatically just made its way into the
like
second.
I was like sitting there watching like the Whedon cut, and I was like, oh, this is like a fucking 5 out of 10. And then he does that Booyah, and I was like, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
You get my man, because that's like the next dumb fucking thing that I thought wouldn't be in the Snyder Cut and was.
My man.
Or like all of the Flash's script, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but then you only have 4 lines tattooed on you,
And one of them's already tattooed on me, so get another fucking line.
and Mike's got a line too.
Yep,
so.
2 lines done.
Pete, give
Half
it
your
yourself.
lines are gone.
Maybe you can get Boo and you get Ya, and then we can like put them
Oh
together.
my god!
Or we
Like
could do as
Tenacious
opposing
D?
fists, like boo, yeah,
It's like, yeah, you get like those 3 fingers, and I'll get these 3 fingers.
yeah, bro.
So, sick. All right, I got this. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Because then I just say yeah, and you're just like boo.
Get it on both
Duh,
hands, so like it
yeah.
doesn't matter who's on which side.
Oh my god.
But it would be like wrong.
Yeah, it'd be wrong on you, and they're like, "Yabu."
And you're like, wait.
No, I need Sam. I need
But
Sam.
then you could do like yeah, boo, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like this. You're like, oh, you mean yo?
It's so I can do the gang sign.
Yeah, the
Which is half the
Gangnam style.
Yeah.
All right, so I do have another question I want to throw out there.
Not on the list.
It's not on the list. Sorry, boys.
Jesus Christ. We're going off script. Boys.
Going
We're
off
going off
script.
script.
Like script, quote unquote.
What do you think's the best thing to come out of this whole thing? This whole like director's cut, rallying from a big fan environment, bringing this thing to the light. What do you think that's going to do for film? I think a lot of people are talking about
there
like,
are a lot
what
of
it might do, but
there are a lot of films out there that are saying like, oh, we had to cut this because we weren't allowed to have this, or the studio said, oh, you're not putting that on.
Yep.
So I think like seeing that people want to see this shit, like people like directors because they have this certain thought pattern and how they see things. Whether you like Zack Snyder or you like any other director,
Yep.
it's giving them more power to make movies that they actually want to make, and not ones that like, I have an idea and then a company will come down and just essentially rape it into like a shell of a movie that it could have been or was beforehand.
Deadpool, for example. That's
Yeah.
the perfect example of that. They let them do what they wanted. It turned out amazing. Everyone's like, oh, shit.
and
Like,
even
who would've
tried to
thought?
sabotage it by cutting budgets and stuff.
Yeah.
And they still kicked ass. Like, yep.
Yep, no,
I think they
I'm
made
with
it
you
a
there.
full joke too, didn't they?
Yeah.
About like the budget's getting cut. Like, this is meant to be this, and it's not.
There's supposed to be a massive gunfight at the end,
Yeah.
and they cut their budgets like last minute, and they were like, "Oh, well, I left the guns in the cab," like, which is great. Like that's
Yeah.
just like, yep, go fuck yourself. I think the thing that excites me the most is I heard that there's an R18 version of Mrs. Doubtfire out there.
I did also hear that as
and
well.
I fucking want to see that because I think it's one of the ones we'll be most likely be able to see because of Robin Williams passing. It's something that like it's like here's almost a fresh Robin Williams film. You know the story, but the jokes are more fucked up
Yeah.
and they're very much Robin Williams jokes. They could quite easily do that and get away with it.
I got excited when I heard that. Like
Yeah.
the people making that were like, he was doing so many like off the cuff jokes that we made 2 movies, like one that was actually aired and one that was like very much for adults only. And like, it's a shame that no one could ever see that. But now there's a reason that could eventually see its way to light because
Man, I would fucking love to see that.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, I think that would be so good because he's a fucking maniac. Like, he's got the shit. Like, he would have said so much dumb shit. And they always talk about that. Like with every film he's done. Like, yeah, we had to turn him off half the time because he just not stop. Like, if they've got it all,
apparently like internet law suggests that there is this
okay,
R18.
it could also be bullshit.
Well, it was the director who made the comment.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
is actually you can read the director out there is like, yeah, there is an R18 version of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Imagine that, like
Let's get that hashtag running, guys. If you're listening right now, to us,
What's the hashtag, Pete?
hashtag. Could you doubt fire?
all right, look, I don't know much about hashtags, but
Working title.
I usually don't feel like I'm going to vomit most days, but
But
I
it's
kinda
fire.
feel a
It's
little
fire.
sick
Come on,
right now.
come on. If you could doubt fire,
Okay,
released. Yeah.
Mike, you got anything you want to add?
No, that was my point. Give the artists free reign. You're still going to make millions of dollars. Like,
I think there's like this great thing you see with like comic books and books, I think in general, is that you see an original vision. No one really can sense that or edit that. People are being given, the creators are doing what they want to do. There's no editing down that because the cost to make that isn't a risk. Whereas the moment you start going to a film, like to make a half decent superhero film, you're going to need at least $100 million. Like, you're just gonna. So when you're dealing with a big IP, all of a sudden all these big wigs come in and see what a new film has done recently, and they're like, well, they did this, so you need to make sure that this is going in there. I think one of the
Half the
funniest
price.
things to watch is there's a video on the internet of Kevin Smith talking about this dude and like the making of the Nicolas Cage Superman movie that never happened. And he talks about like how this producer came on board and he's like, I need there to be a giant spider in there. And he goes through these stories and eventually the whole film falls apart and nothing happens. And like a couple of years later, he goes to the film to see Wild Wild West. And this producer who's been harping on about this giant spider is one of the producers on this film. And sure enough, as he's watching Wild Wild West, this big fucking spider climbs up over the fucking mountain and everything like that. And it's like, this is just like someone with too much money saying they want to see something in a movie and getting there.
Imagine
If
having
you,
what
if
the
you literally go on
internet did.
YouTube and write Giant Spider Kevin Smith, he's so much more of a better storyteller than I am. But it's a great thing to hear.
I guess that's what the internet did in this case. It's like instead of being one guy with money, it's a whole bunch of guys just being like, if you bring it up, we'll pay for it. And then half of them probably didn't. But
Shh.
but
You're giving away secrets, man.
but I think that's probably what's happened. And it's just by like finding a community that will work on it. And
Yeah.
and like it's the internet, man. You can like hashtag any fucking shit and it'll work. Like
For a moment,
Yeah.
stir up a little controversy.
yeah, and that's exactly what's happened here. And they built it and they built it again, and they built it up and they made this massive thing out of just a fucking hashtag on Twitter.
And with that, it's probably time to summarize. So, with 24 minutes of slow mo, weird coloring choices, The Flash being a clumsy fuck, retreading the Marvel films, big lights in the sky, super strong shoes for Wonder Woman and a dumb outfit, dumb musical themes, stupid deaths, great CGI mixed with terrible CGI, and Ray Fisher's lack of fucking anything, I think it's safe to say that.
It's a bit shady.
Thank you for listening to yet another episode of It's a Bit Shit. This is episode 3, which is actually not our third recorded episode, but it is what we chose would be episode 3. So there might be some differences in how things sound going forward. Some things might not sound as good as this episode did, but then after probably 5 episodes, everything should sound pretty similar just as we upgraded our equipment. Thank you everyone who's engaged so far. We keep making jokes how we have 8 listeners, but we actually have a lot more listeners than that. So thank you everyone for listening and engaging. We really, really appreciate it. If you could please share it with your friends and do all that sort of stuff. That's what keeps us going. Those are the things that the more people we have listening, the more need or more drive we have to do this. So please share it with your friends. Let them know about it. If you enjoy it, tell us why you enjoy it. Jump on our Instagram, jump on our Facebook, jump on our Reddit. All the links are on our pages, wherever you find us, Facebook and so on and so forth. I also really want to quickly thank Mike for coming on. Thank you so much, Mike. I know we just buy alcohol off you before we do the show normally, but thank you for coming on and bringing your own alcohol and doing the show with us. It was really cool, man. And you've also got like the greatest voice for podcasting and radio. Your voice is so deep. It sounds so good every time I was doing anything with editing. It sounded so damn cool. Oh, I'm so jealous. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening. We will see you in another fortnight for another wonderful episode with some more stupid fucking fan fiction. Good night. Good day. Good morning. Who knows?